Back. So now that we have an input that we can actually use inside the create customer component, what do we actually use it for? So first of all, I want to be able to kind of say, when I've added a few addresses here and I do save, I kind of want to save the customer with the addresses, right? So I need to somehow get the addresses from this component and save them inside when I create the customer, right? So we have to figure out how we can actually do that. How can we get the components back from the input? So instead of only having access this way, we also need an access the other way to kind of get them back so that we can actually use them when we save. Now, luckily that's very, very simple with Angular. So we want both ways here, right? Both information both ways. So how do we do it? Well, it's already set up. Since you already used the input now, you actually also have access the other way around. So let me try and show you what I mean here. When I actually press the save, what I'm going to do is I want to kind of just for now, when I press the save, I just want to print what I'm actually getting out from the save. So I'll do a console log right here. There we go. And there I'll do a this.addresses in like this. So I'll just, when I press save from now on, I just want to print out the addresses just to show that they're actually blank until I actually start editing the addresses in. So let me try and show you here. If we do this now, we add a customer, let's just call him this and this. And here we're going to start adding some things. And yes, you should add validation down here. Do it, do it, do it. But I haven't yet. I'll add the address now, and I'll just add another address right here. And when I press save now, I should get the customer information, but I need to now console log these guys, and that should show these two addresses. Let's try and see if it works. And you know what? It did. It actually worked. So the cool thing is that you actually already have the binding for both adding addresses into the component, but automatically it binds back to the create as well. So you have two-way binding already. Whenever I add stuff to the address list, it's automatically updated inside the address in as well, right? So that's cool. Now we have the address, and all we actually need to do to send this to the backend when we save now is kind of just say, instead of using the addresses as an empty array like we did earlier, we'll just add them down here, right? Ta-da! So now we're actually sending the addresses when I create a customer to the backend. Now the problem is the backend doesn't care right now, but let me try and show you what I mean here. Adding stuff in here, so I can start actually saving the customer with new information. There we go. And now when I press the save, I'm going to jump into network because I want to kind of see what it's actually sending to the backend right here. And remember, you can always use the network when you want to see what it's sending back and forth. Let me just try and zoom a bit here so you guys can see it. I'm cleaning the area, and then I'll do the save. A request is sent. First, an option request. That's just the core setup, right? Just saying, is it okay for me to communicate with you? Now the second thing it's actually sending right here is a post request. Now the post request is actually sending the information. If you scroll all the way to that button, you can see the payload or the information you're sending in the post request, like we did in the body in Postman. And that payload actually already now contains the list of addresses. Hooray! The addresses are sent to the backend. So it should work. Let's try and have a look at our new customer. Going back to customers, scrolling all the way to the bottom here. This is the new guy, but the problem is he didn't get any addresses. Sad panda. Yes, I'm really sad. So I send it to the backend. I know that, I can see that right here. But the backend didn't use it. Why, backend, why? Well, since I coded the backend, I'm the only guy I can blame, but you could now call the backend guy and say, I'm sending you some addresses, why are they not saved? Because you can prove here, you have proof here that you actually send it to the backend. So let's try and figure that out in the next lesson. Have fun.